So Krista will be sharing with us a little bit more on marketing. So Krista is actually a co-owner of Red Box Studio with 22 years of experience in copywriting and marketing. She helps entrepreneurs and SME owners understand how to leverage websites for visibility, credibility, and also profitability. So let's welcome Krista. Hello, Krista.
Hi, everyone. Glad to be here. Actually, I was watching from the back.
Sorry to put you at backstage for so long.
It's okay. Actually, I was enjoying because from the back, I could see all the interesting things happening and
Right.
see all the live comments. Yeah.
Right. And also, I think we were actually having a lot of quite interesting questions, and we really encourage everyone to while listening to this live stream, if you have any case studies that you want to ask any of our speaker today, like Krista. For now, we are looking into more on marketing. So if you do have any questions in terms of marketing or any areas that you're facing challenges now during this period of time, feel free to leave your comment at comment box as well. And for those who just tune in, basically, if you don't know what SMA Sarikei Innovation is all about, so SMA Sarikei Innovation Centre is actually one of the first innovation hubs within Sarawak under the state initiative, the state government initiative. So what we do is we actually run programs and events every month in Sarikei Innovation Centre, which is based in Sarikei. So with all the because of this MCO, we are not able to travel, and we are not allowed to do any form of gatherings or events. So we bring the event to the virtual platform, which is where we are today on the webinar. So today we are able to share more on the branding and marketing. So we have these two amazing guru, which is earlier on you heard from Julia, and now we're going to have Krista to share with us more on marketing. So Krista, I will let you introduce yourself a little bit more, and if you do have slides, you can actually share on screen, and then I will pull it up to the screen as well. So yeah, go ahead. The floor is yours, Krista.
Okay. Before I get started, I just wanted to say that last night when we got on our pre-call, right? We didn't basically, me and Julia, we didn't quite ask each other what we were talking about. So we didn't really know. But after watching her, I guess we complement each other very well, because in a way she talks about branding and I'm going to focus on marketing. So yeah, in a way it turned out perfect, because I also didn't want to be, to know what she was talking about, because I wanted to watch her live today. Okay, let me just share my screen.
So any one of you who just tuned in to this live stream of webinar, please just say hello and write down where you're from, or maybe what industry are you in as well, so that at least our presenters are able to know what industry that is actually now listening to us, so they can actually maybe give some examples related to your industry as well. All right. Okay. All right, Krista.
Okay. So thank you everyone for joining in. This is today's a Monday. Sometimes with all this CMCO and MCO, we kind of lose track of what day it is, because sometimes we could be doing more, right? Working from home. So today, my topic will be on creating online visibility and profitability for your business. So this is the part where we talk about marketing. So before we get started, I want to ask a question, actually two questions. How many Sarawakians are here? And do you enjoy marketing? Yes or no, or why? So I just want to have a good idea of how many people who are here who are from Sarawak itself. Let me have a look and see whether anyone Sarawakian. Okay, I see some of my friends. I see my cousin-in-law. Okay, hi Natalie. Who else? Who's from Sarawak? I don't see anybody. Can you say yes, I'm from Sarawak, or yes, I'm from wherever? Kuching, Sarikei, Cebu, Miri, Bintulu. Oh, hi Doreen. Oh, you're Sarawakian. Great, great. Okay. And second question. Hi Awang. Second question. Do you enjoy marketing? Yes or no? And why? Hi Zen. Oh, okay. There's a number of Sarawakians here. That's good. Keep it coming. Okay. Later, I'll review a little bit why I asked this question. Okay, even though, yes, technically we know because we are presenting at the Sarikei Innovation Centre Facebook page, but I just wanted to get a feel of how many people watching right now are Sarawakians and how many people are from other states in Malaysia or even other countries. Okay, hi Amir and hi Wong. Hi, Zahara and Gary. Okay. Second question. The second question is a little bit tough. Okay. Do you enjoy marketing? Yes or no, or why? Okay. Zen says yes. Interesting. Okay. Other people? Like anyone want to say why? Why? This is marketing is interesting. Yes. Okay. Amir says yes. You enjoy marketing. Okay. Is there a reason for enjoying marketing? Oh, okay. It seems that everyone here loves marketing. Okay. Okay. So we can actually, you can leave your comments later because I think sometimes this one kind of catches you by surprise that I ask the question like, do you enjoy marketing? Yes or no, and why, right? Okay. So glad to see so many Sarawakians here. I'm glad to see people who are also not Sarawakians. Okay. Let's get back to my slide. I'm going to today's session, this is what I'm going to be talking about. Okay, so what's in this session? I'm going to talk about the 5 fundamentals of marketing, okay, and strategies to market smarter online, as well as how do you leverage these strategies for your own business. So these are the 3 main topic areas that I'll cover in the next 1 hour plus, okay. So let's get started. So as Malcolm mentioned, I am the co-owner of Reebok Studio, and what we do since 1998 is that we have been helping micro entrepreneurs and SME owners grow their reach and revenue using websites that are made for marketing. So what we do is also we teach, we train, and we consult on marketing, entrepreneurship, and strategy. And I'm also the author of the book, Web Wisdom, which I co-wrote with my husband, Nick Sim, who's also my business partner. So if any of you want to know how it feels like to run a business with your husband or spouse, you can also leave me some comments or even ask me some questions about it later. So I want to show you this picture of myself and my husband because sometimes, when people mention their spouses, you kind of like can't imagine who they are, how they look like. So this is my husband. And the reason why I'm showing him, I usually never show my husband in my presentations, but this one I have to show. Why? Because he is from Sarawak. So the linkage between me and Sarawak is that I married a Sarawakian. And I have been married to him since 2001. And every year, or once or twice a year, we would go back to Kuching. And that's why I know, I would say a little bit more about Kuching than most people. And I have a lot of friends as well as relatives on his side. So I can call myself partially a Sarawakian. So that's one of the little things that I wanted to share about my husband, Nick. Okay, back to me now. So I'm also, besides running a business, besides managing a business, what I do is I like to involve myself in community. So community means that a lot of work that's outside of business. So one of the things that I really like is women and entrepreneurship activities. So I'm the co-founder of Women Biz Sense, and it is the most active women entrepreneur association or organization in Penang. We started in 2006. I co-founded it with my very good friend, Josephine Young, and we have grown the organization. We are no longer actively involved in the committee, but we're still there as advisors. And one of the things that I used to do was I used to be the chair of the organization. So one of the things that we love to do is to nurture and to grow women entrepreneurs. Secondly, I am also a board member of IABC Malaysia. It is an international association of business communicators. A little bit about my background is that I used to study in USM in communications. So communications has been a really huge part of my life. In fact, a lot of the work I do these days is about communications, even though it is also tied up with marketing. I'm also a director of Penang Women's Development Corporation. It is an agency in Penang that deals with empowering women and realizing gender equality. And finally, I am the co-founder of a community project. This is personally for me something that's born out of an issue or a crisis, but it's called TSM Book Adoption Centre, and it is Malaysia's one and only book adoption centre that has raised more than 100,000 ringgit for charity. And that is something I'm really proud about, because we have a great team of volunteers. We have great people who love books and who are helping us bring pre-loved books to to a bigger audience across Malaysia. So if any of you want to know more about it, we can talk about this later when this presentation is over. Okay, so that's a bit about me. And what do we do? So as I mentioned before, we deal with websites. We started with websites because we felt that back then, when we started, it was just the beginning of getting online and going online. And to me, I always felt that we should always be at the forefront of whatever that's happening. So that's where we decided to jump into website development. So this is one of our clients. His name is Dr. Khoo Setiam, and he is a general surgeon. So he's also a client of ours. And one of the things that he says, and which I really appreciate him for saying it, is that we are really easy to work with. We solve problems and we aim to get customers through the door. And that is where marketing comes into play. The second one I want to talk about is actually another client of ours. Her name is Wai Ping, Miss Wong, and she is with J Life Global, and it is a skincare manufacturing company based in Kuala Lumpur. And one of the things that about us is that we love having long-term relationships with our client. We love working with them for the long term. I think I've known Wai Ping for at least a decade. We just got on a call just a couple of days ago, and yeah, we realized that we actually have had a long-standing friendship and relationship over the years. So in this review that she gave us, she said that prospects Googled us and saw a website and were impressed enough to contact us. And even after that, her own staff read her website, and after reading it, was so tempted to become the customer. And then, of course, she says that she realizes what a difference the right website makes. So this is a really heart-warming and, of course, an affirming testimonial from one of our clients. And finally, this is another one I just want to show you. It's not that we do a lot of websites for doctors, but it seems that, you may be thinking, right, why would even doctors need websites? But I can tell you, even doctors need to market. So this is Dr. Soma Skanda, and he's also a very good friend as well as a longtime client of ours. He's with the Gleneagles Medical Centre in Penang, and he's an obstetrician and gynecologist. So he has also had his website designed by us, and later I will talk a little bit more about him. Okay, so this is just a general overview to give you some ideas of what kinds of customers that we work with, the kinds of people that we actually help. Okay, now I want to show you this picture. Since many of you here on the live session are Sarawakians, I'm sure you have seen this, right? These are bags, and these are handmade, hand-woven bags, and I'm sure you've seen them everywhere. Okay, even those who are from Peninsula, I'm sure you've seen these bags everywhere too. And they come in beautiful colors, they come in gorgeous patterns, and of course, they're so interesting and exciting, and you can't stop at one. Personally, I think I've bought so many, I just lost count of them. And why I bring up that story is because besides the link that I'm married to a Sarawakian, the other link is that those bags that you saw just now are from the Penan Women Project. And this is Anne Wong. She's the chairperson of this particular organization. It's actually a social enterprise. So this is actually a very recent picture. I think we took this probably in January when we met up right after Chinese New Year, and she took us out for a typical Sarawak Laksa breakfast. And it was a rainy day, as typically as it is in Kuching, it rains most of the time. So this was a rainy morning, but we were having a very warm and interesting breakfast, because this is one of those places I've never been to yet. So this is Anne Wong. The reason why I bring up Anne Wong is that she is someone who started these bags. Meaning started in the sense that she is not the one who weaves, and she's the chairperson of this Penan Women Project, where she brings together the Penan women to weave the bags. Okay, so it is a social enterprise whereby besides making sure that the craft of weaving is not lost, she also makes sure that these Penan women are actually earning an income from the weaving and selling the bags. So what she does is she lets them weave the bags according to the specifications that she wants. And then she takes the bags from them and she sells them through the different ways that she has put together. So the interesting thing about Anne is, you see, this is a kind of, how should I say, there's kind of a pattern here about me and my friends. I've known Anne for so many years. I think I've lost count. Her first friend was actually my husband, Nick, because they were on IRC so many years ago. So for those of you who are very young, you may not know what IRC is. So it's basically Internet Relay Chat. And that time she was studying in the US. She was studying design. So fellow Sarawakians, when they meet each other online, they get very excited, right? So they want to talk about stuff related to their home state. So that's how when she came back later and she got settled back in Kuching, we met up with her. And then after that, I realized that I also knew her brother, who was then in the US also, but he was writing a blog. Okay, so basically in a way, I would say like Penang, Kuching is pretty much as a close-knit community, small community. So in the end, we became friends, and then she got married, had her twins. And then later she was telling us that she was doing this to help the Penan women. And I thought that was such a great project, because personally, as you have seen before, I was telling you that, in Women Biz Sense, we do a lot with women and entrepreneurship and nurturing and supporting women in small businesses. So after that, we told Anne, hey, let's just, support you with a website so that your work and the good stuff that you do can travel far and travel wide. Because with a website, people will know more about you, people can come and support you, and people can come and help you in the ways that you want them to help you, okay? So that's how we decided to support her with a website. And that's the story of how we got to know Anne and carried that friendship onwards. Okay, so these are some of the products that the Penan Women Project produces. These are all handmade. One of the key things that's very good about Anne, and I think she's on this call, so I'm gonna really tell you, this is a very honest opinion. One of the good things about Anne is because she studied design in the US, she has this ability to pair different colors together. Because if you're Sarawakian, I'm sure you've seen all these handmade bags or baskets in the market. And they typically come in perhaps, one or two colors. Or maybe in the past, it was made with rattan. But now, because I guess, it's harder to grow rattan or it's harder to process rattan, so things have to change a bit. So things need to evolve as, people start to get more used to modern materials. So in a way, Anne has taken what she has learned in design and transformed it into something that is more contemporary, for contemporary and urban buyers. So she mixes and matches different colors. She's the person, she's the genius behind all these different colors and different kinds of patterns. And they use plastic strapping now. They no longer use rattan. They use plastic strapping. And interestingly, they have also moved beyond the traditional baskets. So now they have interesting clutches like this. The one on the side here, these two, actually, those were the ones that I bought because I like them so much. And then, of course, this one is from her site. I took from her site. So the thing about Anne is that she's very good at doing this as well as marketing. So I'm going to talk about marketing later. And also, if you can see at this, the corner here, she has this little, what we call a little badge. I don't know what you call it. Is it badge? But this is what it looks like close up. So this is something that was a recent addition. It wasn't there in the early stages. So this also shows you that when you're beginning, there are a lot of things that maybe you didn't really think about, or maybe you were not ready for it yet. So as her bags and the clutches and the baskets became more and more popular with the Malaysian public, she also had to find a way to differentiate herself from the others who were also making this. So of course, there's so many people who know how to make these bags. But I think the unique characteristic of Penan Women Project bags or baskets or clutches or household items is that the innovation and the consistency of quality. I know personally Anne really checks for quality. She would really tell the weavers that, this is not good enough. Okay, we should make it better, because at the end, she will be the one marketing and promoting and selling these bags across Malaysia. So if she doesn't make sure that the quality is good enough, no one will buy the product, right? So in this case, PWP now has this interesting, iconic logo that she puts on every bag, every clutch that she sells, to ensure that people know that when they're buying this, they are actually buying a PWP product. And it stands for quality, it stands for consistency, and of course, stylish design. So that is also part of, you can call it branding, but it's also part of differentiating herself from the other people. Because unless you know her style, you may not necessarily know that, just by looking at the bags or looking at the baskets, you wouldn't know, is this a PWP product or not? So this way, it's very clear. And of course, she has the bag tags that you can actually see that comes from PWP. So this is another picture which I got from her, is that how she markets, right? We're talking about marketing right now. So how does she market? One of the ways that she started out with is actually a pop-up sale. So pop-up sales meaning that she would say, okay, we're going to be, in this case, this is Verdun Hill Hotel in KL. We are going to be in Verdun Hill Hotel the next 1 to 2 days, or even 1 day. I'm not too sure, depending on, her time and all that. So she would gather up her Sarawak friends in KL and get them all to come in, volunteer to help, and get all these bags in. It's not an easy job, mind you, because the bags can be heavy. After you have hundreds and hundreds of bags coming in, you have to sort, you have to display, and you have to put them up for sale. And everyone who comes in, and this I can say for sure, because I'm one of the buyers of these bags, is that all these bags are so enticing that you can't just stop at one. You'll be like, oh, this pink one looks good. Oh, the white one looks good. Everything looks good. And in the end, you start telling yourself, okay, maybe I should just buy all these bags that I like instead of just the one that you wanted to buy. And what I personally think that is great for Penan Women Project is that they do a lot of personal selling, meaning that in this particular sale at Verdun Hill Hotel, they will talk to you. They will tell you the story of why they are doing this. Why are they doing this, and how are they supporting the Penan women back in Sarawak? So this is actually a great way for them to talk to the customers. And more than just talk to the customer, this is a great way for them to tell the customers their story, because not everyone knows about the Penan women in Sarawak. Not everyone knows that these bags are, each of them, individually hand-woven, handmade, or why they need to have a sustainable income. So the why they need to have a sustainable income is because most of them are either living in the interior. If they are not, even if they're not living in the interior, they are unable sometimes to find the right jobs. And because they have to take care of their families, they can't be going out to work. So what they try to do is PWP tries to give them something for them that they can do at home, that they can weave and make and produce at home. And Anne and her team will go and get these bags from them and help them sell it out there. So this is one of those areas whereby the story makes the product interesting. So this is where, when you think of it, you're not just buying a bag, you're buying a bag to help a family or kids, because the money that the woman earns will go towards the family. And most of the time, the money that goes towards the family is to buy groceries, as well as to educate the children, to put them through school. So given this bigger picture, wouldn't you want to support? Wouldn't you want to buy a bag? I mean, this is a very, very compelling story. So that is why I think that all these pop-up sales actually work in their favor, even though there's a lot of work involved, and she enlists a wonderful team of volunteers who help her. This is a recent outing, not really an outing because they had to fly really far away, but they were invited by the Sarawak Tourism Board to exhibit in Frankfurt in February this year. And I was so excited for her anyway. I was so excited because for the first time, they would be showcasing their bags to a totally different crowd. Not Asians, but to the Germans. And they wanted to get feedback, and they wanted to see how they could promote more of the Sarawak products overseas. So I thought this was a really smart tie-up with the Sarawak Tourism Board to bring their products beyond Malaysia, beyond Sarawak, beyond Borneo. Another thing that Anne and her team does really well is they collaborate with other Malaysian businesses. So, of course, as you saw in the first picture of the pop-up sale, they did it with the Verdun Hill Hotel in KL. So they have Christmas sales. And then they also work with local people in Kuching, and they promote their products in Kuching itself. They also collaborate in different manners. So they join, I think, the Sarawak Culinary Adventure, the Sarawak Heritage Food Festival. And they also collaborate with the Poppies. Poppies is a local brand. So they have many different types of collaborations. And I think that's really an interesting way to think of for marketing, because marketing is really not just you alone. It's not a solo endeavor. It's not a solo project. It's not something you do on your own and try to do everything on your own. It is about working with other people to get good things happening. So this is one of the smart things that they do in PWP. So beyond clutches, beyond baskets, beyond bags, what else do they do, right? So innovation is actually one of the key things in marketing, is that you constantly innovate. You constantly create new products, as well as create products that are requested by the customers. So this one, in this case, is actually kind of like a small little box casing with the cover that you can actually use, and you can actually probably partner up with someone who's selling something in bottles, that both of you can do something together. So in this case, not only are they doing this for the end user, for instance, like if it's a clutch, I will buy it to use it. But this one, they could actually partner up with people who want to have an exclusive box or casing or something to put their products in. So this is where you're also creating products for the other businesses. So this is more B2B, whereas in the first case where they're selling clutches and the baskets and the bags, that's more B2C. And of course, because it's, in Malaysia, we have so many different festive seasons and so many celebrations and so many things that we could all celebrate about. So in this case, Anne comes up with designs like this. And this is where her design background actually plays a large part. This is for Chinese New Year, actually, this year. And these were two very interesting bags. And if you can read Chinese, that's actually the word for prosperity. And that is the one on the side here, the mini tote. And she also shows you what kinds of things you can use it for. So besides selling you the product, she gives you ideas on what can you use it for, and how can you, make use of the products that you buy from PWP. So again, this is also fitting in with who we are as Malaysians, because there's so many things, right? So after Chinese New Year, there is Raya, right? And then there's Deepavali and there's Christmas. So basically, if you just focus on the different festive seasons, you would have different products to create and different products to sell to the people who are truly supportive of your business. And this one I also want to mention because this is also a really good collaboration, because this is the Karen bag that they produced, but they actually had their bag on the runway at the Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week 2019 with another Borneo brand called Winka. So this is actually a model walking down the runway, and she is actually having a special, I think it's a special exclusively made bag for this particular brand. Now, I've talked about how Anne does so well with the producing and the selling. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about what else that PWP does. And this ties in with marketing, because I think there was just now a question about CSR, right? When during Julia's session, it was about CSR. And I think this one would exemplify that CSR part, because as a social enterprise, it's not just about selling bags. It's just not about selling you another basket, another clutch, another bag. I think the key thing about PWP is that it ties in with the community. At the end, it talks about empowering the Penan community to be self-sustainable, to actually be stronger in every aspect. So once or twice a year, they do this. They call it Project Shine, which stands for Sanitation, Health, Impact, Nutrition, and Education, which also tells you what kinds of areas they cover. This is a collaboration. What they do is they get the community to either donate or to volunteer or to bring in the supplies needed, where they will take it in to the interior to the Penan community. So this is actually community assistance to the Penan in Ulubaram through a project called Project Shine. And I know they also raise money online for this particular project. I think they raised about 26,000 ringgit for this. And when I met her during Chinese New Year, she was asking whether we could join her. And unfortunately, we could not. But it would have been such an interesting journey for us to go into the interior of Sarawak. So for those of you who are from Peninsula, you probably may not know that certain parts of Sarawak are still pretty, how should I say, pretty rough, in a sense, where you really have to drive your four-wheel drive into the interior. So this was actually the Project Shine, that they were going into the interior of Sarawak this year, actually quite recently. So it was a collaboration between the Clinical Research Centre, Sarawak General Hospital, and PWP. So based on the donations, the community supplies that they got from the community, and everything else that people wanted to support, either with their time, energy, and even volunteers to go in with them. So this is their journey into the interior of Sarawak. And I think Anne is on this particular Facebook Live also. You can look up for her. If you want to know more, you can contact her and ask her more about this project, which I think is really good. It's really good because it shows that it's not just about marketing and selling. It's about doing something for the greater good, which I always believe that you have to do something for the greater good. It's not just always about the money, always about the selling, okay? And what they do is, besides bringing in the food supplies, bringing in things for them, they also do medical checkups for the Penan. So here we see an elderly lady getting her checkups. So now at this stage, right, you must be thinking, okay, I've told you about Anne and what she does with PWP. And I wanted to bring up PWP because I think that sometimes certain stories get buried in so many other things. And as Sarawakians, if you're in Sarawak, even if you're not Sarawakian, if you're Sarawak, all these homegrown stories would actually make you really proud to be Sarawakian, and really proud that if you buy a bag, you're supporting a woman in need, you're supporting a family in need, you're supporting sending a child to school, okay? So now we come back to the concept of what is marketing and how can you engage in more marketing to create visibility and profitability for your business. So before I go into that, are there any comments or questions and things that maybe you want to ask first before I move on? Because I know sometimes maybe halfway you thought of something that you wanted to ask. Malcolm, are there any?
Yeah. So Krista, I'm not sure this question, is it for you or for Julia, but it's actually from Rudy. His question is, when talk about process, it's actually the delivery of knowledge to students. I think he's a lecturer. Due to the MCO, the delivery is now fully online. So he would like to how online knowledge delivery processes can actually stand out actually. So I'm not sure if this is a part of branding or marketing, but I think you can actually look into both ways as well. So
yeah. Okay, I think this is more, I think Rudy's question is more for Julia, but let me talk about, maybe the online delivery part. I would say that when you are delivering content online, it's probably the same as delivering content offline. You have to make it very interesting, I would say, because online is a little bit tougher because like what we are doing right now, right? I can't see the audience. I can only read their comments. So, and also see the interaction. If they ask a question, if they want something, maybe they can type in. So we can't really have a two-way conversation. So that is where we have to even up the game on being more interesting than we normally are when we are teaching face-to-face or when we are delivering something face-to-face. So I think that, and two is, I always believe in visuals. I always believe in using strong visuals to send a message, especially online, because online it's really hard to get the person's attention. So we're so used to videos, we're so used to graphics and images and visuals. So I believe that if you're presenting online or delivering content online, I think you really have to focus on this, because if there are just too many words on the screen or the slide, I think you just lose the person. And these days, I know a lot of people don't like to read, right? It's like they just look at something and they say, oh, okay, it's an image, that's it. And they make assumptions about the image.
Yeah.
So, and images are also good because images get into your brain. We may forget even the words on the screen right now. But if I showed you the bag just now, it's burned into your mind. You can't not unsee the bag, right? You can't unsee the bag. You can't unsee the face of the Penan woman that I showed you just now. It's just there. You maybe it's a hazy, blurry image, but you know that the image was there and you saw it before. So I think visuals need to be part of your online delivery. That helps to get your audience more engaged. And of course, ask questions and keep them constantly coming back by asking them questions, which Julia did a really great job. Julia stopped halfway and, asked them what they wanted to know about, or just to ask something that made them come back into the conversation with her. Yeah.
Okay, so if there's any more questions out there, whoever is listening to this sharing on marketing by Krista, feel free to put in the comment box, and in between her presentation, she will basically create a Q&A session, or we will definitely do a Q&A session towards the end of the presentation as well. So Krista, I'll let you continue.
Okay, thanks, Malcolm. Okay, now let's go to this. I want to come back to this because this is something that I want to talk about, the fundamentals. So the fundamentals means that marketing starts with a good product or a good service if you're in the service line. So if you don't have a good product or you don't have a good service, the more marketing you do, the worse it becomes. Because when people buy a bad product, when people get a bad service or people are dissatisfied, they will tell more people about the bad experience than they will tell people when they have a good experience. So this is where I always say, always start with something really good. You want to offer it to your customers, to your clients, make sure you have a good product. So in this case, in the Penan Women Project's case, they have, of course, in the beginning, they had a product that was still in the midst of, being how should I say, being improved by Anne and her team. But I would say now she has come to a stage whereby her products are really stabilized. She already knows from customer feedback what kinds of colors they like, what the Peninsular Malaysians like in terms of colors, what the Sarawakians and Sabahans like in terms of colors, what kinds of things appeal to the urban crowd. For instance, the urban crowd in Penang and KL, what would they like? What kinds of things they would like to see coming up. So she has a pretty good idea of that because she has been talking to our customers. But the first thing that you need to know is you have to have a good product. If you don't have a good product, you have to make a good product first before you even go out and talk about marketing, because it's very hard to market. It is very easy to ruin your brand by marketing a bad product. So if the person tries once and doesn't like it, you will not get the person back again. And the person will probably go and tell 5 or even 10 friends that they had such a lousy, they bought such a lousy product, had such a lousy experience with your product. And they'll tell them, okay, stay away from this brand. Don't buy it, don't even get near the product at all. So start with a good product, start with a good service, and then you can start with marketing, okay? The second one, which is also key, is marketing is collaboration. So a lot of people start out, especially if you're a solopreneur, micro entrepreneur. You always think, okay, I'm making the product, I am creating the service, I am doing this and I'm doing that. And it's a very, individualistic way of looking at things. But when you're marketing, it is always best to do a collaboration, because you can only do so much on your own. And of course, all of us only have 24 hours, minus the sleeping and the eating and everything else. We have only that much of time, probably 8 to 10 hours a day if you work really hard, or even 14 hours a day if you sleep really little, is that you don't have that much of time. And when you're running a business or starting a business or trying to sustain a business, everything needs to be done, or everything needs your approval, everything needs your decision. So if you're talking about marketing, I would say one of the easiest ways or easiest routes is to partner up with someone, collaborate with someone, because they probably need you too. So it's sometimes people think, oh, I'm just so small, people wouldn't trust me or people wouldn't know who I am. But you never know. So I always say, go and talk to someone, possibly who also needs the spotlight or the limelight, or someone who also needs to sell, to market, right? So put yourself into that position where you approach that person and say, hey, can we do a collab? Can we do something together so that both of us can grow together? And I always believe that if you can do this together with one person or one company or one business, you can continue doing that with other businesses and other companies. So you need to start to think differently, because I think marketing is really a mindset. It's really a mindset game. So a lot of people think that, oh, I have to do it myself. Everything I have to be on my own. But you don't have to. So you can think of collaboration. So to me, a fundamental truth about collaboration is that it helps you as well as you have another person, and that person helps you and helps himself or herself. So this is where I think, this is, to me, I think one of the most fastest way of marketing yourself is to collaborate with someone, especially if that someone has similar values to you. So I don't expect you to run out and grab anyone just to collaborate. I think that's not the right way to do it. You need to talk to that person first, kind of investigate and explore what are that person's values, what is that person or the business's values. And like what Julia mentioned before, yes, the values are important. You can't be simply jumping in with someone and just say, hey, let's collaborate, without knowing what that person stands for, without knowing whether they believe in the same things that you believe in. For instance, if just say you don't believe in a certain value and that person is is of that value, sooner or later your collaboration will fall apart, because you would be arguing, or you would not be collaborating, or you would be actually bickering about all the tiny details. So for instance, if I believe in education I'm going to look for a partner, a collaboration partner who believes in education too, because that is the easiest way for us to move forward. If I believe in education, but my partner believes in, other things, like I just don't believe in education, or I believe in something else totally, it wouldn't work. So in terms of collaboration, you really need to find someone who understands you and agrees and is aligned to the value that you want to bring forth. Now, in the past, I also mentioned a little bit about our experience. In the past, we made those mistakes. That's why I can tell you for sure that without investigating the person's values and background and what they want to do, it is a terrible thing to do a collab. And it's a terrible thing to enter into a partnership with a person that doesn't believe the same things as you. Because in the end, the partnership will fail. In the end, you both end up unhappy with each other. So that's not the way we want to run businesses. So that is, to me, a very, very key aspect of why you need to investigate, talk about your values, talk about what you believe in first, and what the other party believes in, and then see if it matches. And if it matches, then you can do a collaboration. Okay, the third one is marketing is education. Now, a lot of people think marketing, of course, at the end result, the outcome of marketing is you want to sell more products. You want people to buy a product, you want people to buy a service. But marketing is really education, because a lot of people I know are not really comfortable with the word selling. It's like, oh, I don't think I'm the selling sort. Because I think we have all been seeing, or hearing, of the super sleazy salespeople that come and push their products at you and ask you just to buy, right? I'm sure we've walked past supermarket promoters who just can't be bothered whether we want to buy a certain thing or a coffee or a tea. They just try to push their product at you. So we've had very negative experiences with salespeople, and we don't like the concept of selling. So what can you do? For instance, if you run a business for yourself, you're an entrepreneur, what do you do? Like, you can't tell people, I don't like selling, because if you don't sell, there's no revenue. If there's no revenue, what are you going to do, right, as a business? So to me, let's change the mindset, okay? I say marketing is education. And I say marketing is education because you are essentially helping people to understand something about your product, something about your service. Because this is the best way for you to educate. When you're face to face with someone who's buying your product, you can tell the person why the product is special, why the product is made in a certain way, or who is making the product. Because a lot of times we will treat something as a commodity because we don't know, right? We don't know who makes it. And this again comes back to what Julia was talking about, the brand story. We don't know anything about the brand. We don't know anything about the company. So we just take a look at the baskets and say, well, they're just another kind of basket. I could buy a cheaper basket somewhere, but it's just a basket to me. So it's a commodity. You don't want your product to be a commodity in the market. You want your product to be unique. And that is why we all want to brand our companies, brand our products, brand our businesses, because we want to be unique. We want to be the unique sellers of a specific product or service. So in this case, a lot of times why your product is not, I would say, not treated unique or special is because you didn't probably do enough of educating. So you have to keep on educating. And sometimes you may feel, I think I've educated enough, that if you've been in business for 5 to 10 years, you probably think to yourself, oh my God, I've been educating every single day of my life. Every time I open the door, I open my shop, I open my office, or meet a client, meet a customer. I'm talking about business all the time. Yes, but you have to do it because you're meeting new people all the time. And as Julia said, just because you said it doesn't mean they heard it, right? So it means that you can say all you want about your product and your service. But to them, because they have certain filters, they have certain biases, they have certain perceptions, and perhaps has nothing to do with you, but they take it all in. and it's filtered through their own lens of how they see the world, of what they know about a product or the products that they've bought in the past before, then they would hear a different message from the message you're trying to tell them or convey to them. So that's why, if you can, continue to educate. And to me, these days, it's so much easier to educate because you have things like Facebook Live, right? And technology makes it so much easier, because in technology, you have something that a face-to-face doesn't have. In technology, you have scale and you have reach, which means that every time you create a video, every time you create a teaching or a training online that you can record as a video, you have the opportunity to reuse that specific educational material for the future. So even if someone comes along and say, hey, I don't know what you're talking about, can you explain? And sometimes you may just be able to send them the link of the video and say, hey, look at this video. This is what I've prepared. I'm talking about this specific service or product that I offer, and perhaps you can take a look at it first and let me know if you have any questions. So I want to bring up this example. I think yesterday was Mother's Day, and the day before, on the 9th, YB Hannah Yo did a storytelling session, and she used a book by a friend of mine. Okay, she used Josephine's book. Actually, Josephine, the one I co-founded Women Business with, she used Josephine's book called Doing What's Right. And she read this book on her Facebook Live to all the people who are watching. I think in the last round that I checked, she had like 47,000 views of that video. Okay, so can you imagine how many mummies and daddies and kids saw YB Hannah Yo read that children's book on integrity? And how many people suddenly realized, oh, I didn't know there's a book on integrity for children. I should really check it out. I should go and contact Josephine and get the book from her. So to me, this is scale and reach. By herself, probably Josephine can sell a good number of books. But if it's online and her book is read out by a famous person and someone who actually talks about integrity, and this is where we talk about matching values. So YB Hannah Yo always talks about integrity, accountability, and it matches. So when she read the book on integrity, it really aligned with her values and it aligned with Josephine's values. And it also brought out this concept that we should teach integrity to children starting from young. So can you imagine the kinds of publicity she's getting over and over? Even though the video, I mean, she has ended the FB Live, of course, but the video is still on her page. People can still go back and share the video and tell other people about the video. So all these things give greater reach, greater impact to whatever product that you want to promote. So this is what I call marketing is education, and use the online platforms to educate is even a smarter way to move ahead. Okay. And this is the other one that I want to talk about. Marketing is amplifying your values and beliefs. Remember just now I was talking about so much about values and beliefs. This is what it means. It means that you're walking your talk and you're doing what you believe in, and what you believe in ties into helping others. And so in this case, PWP, the product is the bag, the product is the basket, product is the clutch, right? But they tied to a bigger story. And the story is still around the Penan community in Sarawak, but it also talks about other things like education, like better healthcare, empowerment of the women as well as the community. So if you're talking about marketing, I think you always have to tie it back to something that's bigger than just the product that you are selling. What do you believe in as a business owner? A lot of times when you work with SMEs, they try to separate themselves from being the face of the company. And to me, I always challenge them. I say that, why? Why do you want to be so low profile? right? And then the next question I ask them, then why are you on Facebook? Why are you on Instagram? Why are you on LinkedIn? Because we all want the visibility, and we all want people to know us for the good stuff that we do, the good business that we run. So I always tell micro entrepreneurs are better. They're okay with showing who they are and what they do. But when the SME owners, they're slightly more hesitant. They feel that, oh, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't expose too much of my face online and stuff like that. But I say today, it's about the story. And the story is tied to your values and your beliefs. So what do you believe as a human being? What do you believe as a CEO of the company? What do you believe? What do you value? Do you value education? Do you value empowering women? So if you can tell that story online and put your values in, that will be such a strong story. That will be also so relatable, because now you're a human being. Now you're not just the CEO of ABC company. Now you're a real person with real values, real beliefs. And you're three-dimensional. You're not just like, oh, okay, I know this person so-and-so, he's so super successful, does all these amazing things. But is he relatable, or is she relatable? So marketing is really putting your values and your beliefs into what you say and what you do, and especially if it's for your business. And finally, marketing is telling the right story to the right people. So in this case, I bring this up because, again, I want to emphasize the fact that it's not just the basket. What you buy, who you support, okay, that you could support her and buy her basket and her bags and the clutches, is that, yes, it is a transaction, that you're paying PWP money for something that you like. But the bigger story behind it is you're helping Penan women lead better lives. You're helping put their children to school. You're helping put food on their table. I think that's also an important part to mention. Put food on the table, helping them envision a better future for themselves and their children and their future generations. I work very closely with Anne, and I always ask her, hey, let me know about some of the stories of this woman. And she always tells me that some of these women have felt so empowered because now they can run the business on their own. Now they can do something for themselves and the community, and now they feel that they can do even more. So telling the right story to the right people means that you must approach the right people who are interested to hear that story and to tell the story over and over again. Okay. So to wrap up this section, is that marketing starts with a good product or service. It's collaboration. It's also education. It's about amplifying your values and beliefs and telling the right story to the right people. And this is, to me, of course, these are not all. It's not the be all of marketing, but I picked up these 5 fundamentals, 5 points, because I think in these 5 points, we can do a lot with it, especially if we're all business owners. We can do something with each of these fundamentals, and we can work around it, and we can do something and implement it in our own business. Okay, so of course now is okay, how do I implement this in my own business, right? So before we go into implementing, do we have any questions so that I see whether there's anything that in here that anybody wants to ask?
Hi, Krista. I think there's one question. It's actually from Bileng.
On Bileng, yeah.
So basically, in terms of any partnership, agree that it is important that both parties or all the parties involved to have the same shared values. True in sustainable relationship, be in business as well as with spouses. How do we establish values of our potential business partners, and also should values of the organizations be portrayed in the brand?
Okay, so there are basically 2 questions in this, right? First one is, how do we establish values of our potential business partners? And the second one, should values of the organization be portrayed in the brand? Okay, let me answer the first one. Yes. Think of it. Okay, we complicate issues when we talk about business, right? Business sounds a bit like, oh, so formal, and things like that. But if we took away potential business partners, what about friends? Can we replace it with the word friends? So if we put in friends, it'll be, how do we establish the values of our friends or potential friends? How do you know, right? So you talk to them, take them out for tea, have lunch with them, ask them about what is important for them. The same thing for business partners. What's important for them? Sometimes in one or two phone calls or even in one or two meetings, you can kind of gauge where they are, who they are, right? And this I read in I think in a book. This person says, in order to know how the person really is, because sometimes in business settings, in a conference room, in a business setting, you don't really see the person actually, how the person acts or react. The fastest way to get to the real person is that take that person out for lunch and see how that person treats the waiter, right? Because sometimes we can put on this pretense of like, oh, we're this, we're that, we're so good, we're so nice and so kind, but only to people on our level. What about people who are maybe in the service industry, where you look at them and say, oh, he's a waiter or she's a waitress. Like, how does that person treat that person, right? So that's actually, to me, a very good indicator. If the person treats that person well, you know that the person is okay, right? But what if that person treats the person like is rude or obnoxious? That to me is a danger sign. Okay, something. Okay, maybe that's not a one-off. Maybe that's a one-off thing. Maybe that day he had a bad day. Okay, do it a second time. Go out with him and his friends, or see him in a non-business setting. I think there we can actually derive how the person is. And of course, these days with Facebook and LinkedIn, you can go and check what the person is doing, right?
Yeah.
And not non-business days. What do they do? What do they say? What kinds of updates they put on their social media? Is it some nasty stuff? So from there, you kind of can establish who they are as a person, an individual human. And then you decide, do you want to do business with that person or not? Or even sometimes the moment you meet the person, you already feel this bad vibes coming on, right? Like sometimes you meet a person, you feel, oh, this is not good. So gut feel is actually proven to work in most times. Your gut actually has your best interests at heart. So sometimes even your gut feel, some people say, oh, it's gut feel, but gut feel actually do work. Okay, that's the first question. The second one, should values of the organization be portrayed in the brand? Definitely. Because if you're the one who started the business, your business is your baby. Okay? So when your business is your baby, what you do, who you are, what you feel, what you think, what you want has, in a way, influenced how you started the business or how you grew the business along the way. Maybe sometimes you may not know it. Like, you probably think, no, I don't think I put my values into it. But then start thinking, what are you paying attention to in your business? What kinds of people do you serve in your business? What kinds of emotions when you're serving those people, the customers? How do you feel about certain issues? How do you feel about your customers and making money and all that? Somehow you would actually see that a lot of it is your values. And so if your values are positive, yes, bring it out in the brand, because I think most people shy away from putting their values in because they feel that values are values. They're very personal. The business and the brand is a total different entity. But I think if you look at businesses these days, a lot of times the business, the personal, sometimes there's no difference, right? Why do people like going to talks and meeting speakers? Then they say, oh, I know this person. This person is real. This person is not this 2D, cut out, this person is actually a real person. And then they follow that person, right? They follow that person's Twitter account. They follow that person's Instagram, because I want to know more about you. So like Malcolm, if I want to know more about you, I'll go and check you out on Instagram. I'll check you out on LinkedIn. I'll follow you and see what you post, what you do.
So this is also a little bit more related, like personal branding, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So get
that's
to
why
know them better.
So when Julia was talking about Virgin and all that, right? Just brands. When we think of Virgin, who do you think of?
Richard Branson.
Yeah. Right. Okay. We think of Tesla. Who do you think of?
Elon Musk.
Yeah. Right. Why? Because it's so easy for us to hook that brand to a person rather than a brand to, I don't know. So hooking a brand to a person is so much easier for us as human beings because we like to know other human beings. Like if you ask me, Nestle, I don't know. I really don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Unless I know someone who works in Nestle, right? Other than that, I wouldn't know. So to me, these are some of the, say like, you can be the face of your brand. But if you can transform those values of you and your personality into the organization, I think that will make your organization even more awesome. Okay, that makes it real. Yeah.
Right. So we have one more question before you continue. It's actually from Kenneth. So he's actually in the food and beverage business or industry, and he's just asking is what kind of possibility, what kind of possible criteria that may actually cause a fail in marketing?
Okay, food and beverage industry is very easy. You just serve people horrible food. That is the first. Nobody comes back to your cafe. No one comes and reorder from you anymore, right? I think that make sure your product, your food is good. And second, if your food is good, up the game on customer service. And to me, that is, these are the two things that will cause you to succeed. So if you don't want to succeed, you do the reverse of that. You have horrible food and horrible customer service. Don't answer your customers' questions. Don't answer their WhatsApp and all that.
So that is also part of marketing, right? Because the word of mouth will spread, right? So I think besides this, like besides on word of mouth, this kind of direct marketing, but what other kind of marketing that may actually fail in terms of maybe like, is this the right time to do advertising, or through advertising as a marketing platform? What kind of criteria that they have to be more careful of in order not to fail in their marketing? I think this is what he meant maybe in terms of campaign and everything.
Yeah. So I guess in now at MCO and CMCO, a lot of people are always talking about food, right? They're talking about what I'm going to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you're not cooking the breakfast, lunch, dinner on your own. So in the food and beverage industry, I think the key thing is for you to, I wouldn't consider advertising. I mean, like you say, like those Facebook campaigns and all that, I wouldn't go that way, because right now it's actually a very personal touch. So let me give you an example of the local food vendor that I have in my area. She's a very smart woman. Okay. I've talked about her on my social media. She actually sends a different menu every single day to all of us in her WhatsApp group. So we're all in her WhatsApp group. So she will send you nice pictures. Like last night, she sent a picture of laksa lemak. She said, that's the menu for today, for lunch. So if you want, you order. And besides laksa lemak, she's also selling spring roll or popiah. And she's also selling lo hong kor, the beverage. So basically what she's doing is she's getting pre-orders. So you book, you put in your orders the night before, then she will pack. And then the next day you go and collect from her shop. That's all she does. She runs a fantastic business. Okay, that's really word of mouth. So what she does is, the smart lady does, she takes your phone number. She says, you want to be alerted of my specials? Because every day is a different menu. So the day before was bak kut teh. Today was laksa lemak. Last week it was like curry noodles. So every day there's something new. So wouldn't you be excited as a customer? I'll be like, oh, I'm looking forward to tonight's menu, because tonight I get to order for tomorrow. So to me, I think that's really smart marketing. So if you want to do smart marketing, be in touch, get the data of your customer, get their phone number, get the email. But this is, I think, WhatsApp faster. So get their phone number, put them into a WhatsApp group, and share with them when you have your specials or whatever thing, only for these people who are in, I would call it your inner circle. And then your customers will love you. And like me, you see, I love her so much that I'm talking about her on Facebook Live.
So basically, like advertising or campaigns or ads and all this, everything is still part of marketing. So I think Kenneth, to answer some of your question, I think like because your question is quite generic, but we're just trying to find different kind of pockets to fill up, to let everyone know as well, just in case. So of course, during this time, not everyone is going to spend on campaigns and advertising, but there are a lot of free ways of doing advertising and campaigns as well. One of the ways or examples are basically what Krista just shared, like word of mouth, like through WhatsApp, or just kind of get through to your network and your contacts that you know of, right? So I think that's one of the questions that we have, and maybe you can continue your last part. Is there anything you want to share? Is there any last part?
Okay, how long do I have?
You have another like 5 to 10 minutes actually.
5 to 10 minutes.
Is that too short for you?
Yeah, because I have a couple more things to go through.
Okay,
but
I think it's right. We can still bear with it. No worries, because this time we started.
Okay, for those who are listening into this Facebook Live, maybe let us know. Would you like me to continue more, because I've got a little bit more to share, and I don't want to just zip through all the slides, because I think some of it is pretty important.
I think it's all right.
Yeah,
I think it's okay. You can just continue, because we started a bit later, earlier on, because of the technical issue as well. So you can actually carry on. No worries, no worries. You can carry on.
Great. Yeah. Okay, so now we come back to how do you implement these marketing fundamentals in your business? Okay, number one, because this is why I say technology, right? Make your website your marketing home base or HQ, because it is the ultimate destination for all your marketing activities. And I keep saying this over and over again to people, and they're probably sick and tired of me telling them this. But I think that in today's, with what we have today, okay, all of us are working from home, all of us are glued to our devices, our laptops, our phones. Your website needs to be the ultimate home base or the ultimate HQ. Because the problem is that most websites never serve their business owners. And this is where I would say probably it kind of answers Kenneth's question, is that why certain marketing fail. You don't pay attention to what's online. Because the what's online, your website basically represents your brand. Your website represents you as a business. So when your website represents you as a business, what do customers see when they visit your website or Facebook page, right? So these are the important questions you must ask yourself, because sometimes websites are hardly updated and they don't have very much information. And most of the time, they're not made for marketing. So how do you expect people to find out about you? How do you expect you to get visibility? Because if your website has very little information, you won't rank well in Google anyway, because Google thinks that there's nothing interesting, right, in your website. Or you never update for the last 3 to 5 years. Okay, that's really bad. So try to put everything that you can, everything that's useful, not for you. Okay, I know a lot of business owners like to feel that I want to put a lot of things online, like everything is important to me. Then I ask them this question: is it important for you, or is it important for your customers? So there's a difference, you see, because a lot of people can't really differentiate, because they think, no, it's important for me, therefore it must be important for my customers. Actually, the other way of thinking is better. Think of it from the perspective of your customer. What do they need to see? What do they need to have, to see and to know that you have when they come to your website? Okay, so those are the things that you need to put on your website, and that is the important part of it. So you have to make your website part of your marketing. So how do you do that? So number one, does your website tell a story that hooks your prospects? Okay, so this is important because, like I said just now, you want to be relatable. You want people to understand who you are and why you're doing this, why you're providing the service and the product. So what story, if you're looking at your website right now, what story is it telling to hook your prospects? Okay, will your prospects be interested if the story is just common, cliche? Okay, or is it a story that makes them sit up and read a second time. So what kind of story are you featuring on your website? Second, do you educate prospects why you're the best to do business with? A lot of people have this assumption that people, their customers or the prospects automatically will know. And I say, no, it's not really true. Because sometimes we're so deep into our business that we forget that other people don't know the things that we know. So we really don't, we think they know, but actually they don't know. So for me, I think if you're using your website, use it to tell your customers and your prospects why you're the best supplier, why you're the best person, why you're the best manufacturer, the best agency, the best, I don't know, the best cafe, the best restaurant, okay, to eat in. So you can have this as a why us page in your website, or you can work it into the rest of your content as you're talking about yourself and your business. The third one, do you provide value to your website visitors? Okay, so when I say value, I actually mean what helpful information are you providing to the people who come to your website for the first time? So a website is not just a place for you to tell people what you sell. A website is a place for you to show that you can help people with what you know and what you have. So value could be, do you have videos that explain more about your products? Do you have useful articles that help people understand more about what you do? Do you have case studies of the people that you've helped? Do you have interesting resources for them to download? Do you have things that when they read it, they feel like even if they didn't buy from you, they didn't contact you, they would have derived a ton of value from just going to your website and reading up on what you offer or watching your videos? So that's why I say providing value is very, very key. And if you provide enough value, you will definitely have enough of content for your website. The fourth one is, do you collect names and emails at your website? So a lot of people don't do this. And I'm really surprised sometimes why they don't do this, because not everyone who comes to your website for the first time will be so eager to contact you, because people are at different stages of the buying process, different stages, right? They're not necessarily there to buy from you the first time. Maybe they're checking you out. Maybe they just want to know more about you. They heard about you from a friend, and the friend say, hey, go and check out these people. So they're here to browse, to have a look at what you offer, what they can get from you. So not necessarily they'll buy, not necessarily they will contact you. So if the person leaves, you basically lost that visitor. You may have even spent money in a Facebook campaign to bring that person to your website, only to have the person leave. And that goes to your prospect. So one of the easiest ways is to make sure you collect names and emails at your website. And this means that you get to communicate with them way after they've left your website, way after they have probably forgotten you. But because you have the name and email, you can communicate with them, you can email them, and you can send them even more useful resources in the future. Okay, so to me, if there's only one thing you take away from this slide, please remember to collect names and emails at your website. Okay, that is very, very key. What you want to do with the names and emails, how you want to communicate with them, we put that aside first. Just remember to collect that. That is the goal. That is your data. And if you don't have this data, you can't do marketing. And finally, do you describe who you serve and why? So again, this comes back to talking about your target customers, people you want to help, people you want to serve, and why do you want to serve them? So in the case of Penan Women Project, they know who they want to reach out to. They want to reach out to urban women who like beautiful bags, who like beautiful baskets. And they know that they can serve these women in urban areas with their pop-up sales, with their volunteers going out and talking about them. And why? Why are they doing this? They're doing this because they envision a better future for the women weavers, as well as a continuation of the craft of weaving. Because otherwise, the craft will die and the woman will not have any sustainable income. So you must be able to have this in your website too. Because if you don't have this on your website, it will be very difficult for the people who come. And if they fit that category or group that you serve, they wouldn't know because you didn't call it out. So you call it out on your website. Say that we serve so-and-so, or just say our products are helpful for teachers, or our products are helpful for nurses. Our products are helpful for who and why? Why is it helpful for nurses? Why is it helpful for teachers or parents or people who want to learn more about such and such a thing, right? So this, to me, helps you with your marketing, because if you know who you want to serve, it's so much easier to market and to find where these people are. So for instance, if you know you're serving nurses, you will know now where to find the nurses, because you know the nurses are in specific groups online, associations, hospitals, those are the areas. So you know where they are, okay? So I want to come back to this. Remember Dr. Soma Skandar, the one that I mentioned earlier, if you joined us much earlier. So he's a client of ours. And this is his website. So his website calls out very strongly, because right now I'm going to go and show you what I mean by those 5 points, right? So this website of his talks about pregnancy and helping women conceive. And he calls it out directly on the website. And if you're a woman who's trying to conceive and who has not been having any success doing so, this will probably attract you the first glance when you land on the website. And right on the website itself, on the homepage itself, you see his face, right? A lot of people don't want to put their faces on the first page, on the website. But in this case, it works to his advantage, because you want to know who the doctor is, and you also want to know where he's at. Okay, so these are the things that I say, call out who you're serving. And then we make him more than just 2D. We say that this doctor can salsa. So these are some of the stuff that we dig out from our clients when we meet and talk to them. And we say that, you just can't be a doctor. I mean, don't you have any other things that you do in your spare time? So he says he likes to salsa. I say, put it on my website, right? So I say, you have to be a personality. These days, people don't buy from businesses. They want to buy from people they know, like, and trust. I mean, even back in the days, before websites came along, they also want to buy from people they know, like, and trust. But now it's even more accessible. So we say, okay, put all the stuff that you have. So he can salsa, he can speak Malay, Tamil, and a smattering of Hokkien. And he likes golf and squash and swimming. So you kind of build up a picture of the doctor. Then you say, wow, he's a real person. I mean, he's just not this very clinical kind of person, very, proper. I mean, of course he's proper, but it's just not the doctor. So he's a doctor with a kind of personality. And he's really funny. I mean, to be honest, he's a really funny guy. And besides that, he's a volunteer teacher and researcher. So if you read this and say, wow, I don't mind talking to this guy. I think he should be quite a fun doctor to talk to, just to ask about some issues or something that I want to find out more. And then, of course, when we talk about resources, so just say, if I want to know, okay, I don't know who he has helped. I don't know whether he can help me solve my problem. Just say if I have PCOS, right? I don't know whether he could help me PCOS. So I go and look at his resources and say, wow, he has some interesting case studies. He has helped these women become mothers, even though some were trying for 6 years. And yeah, and he has pictures, and he has all these interesting cases of people he has helped. Maybe he can help me. So this is what I call resources. These are the things that you put on your website because you want to bring out the trust. Because online, when they see you for the first time, they don't know who you are. But the more you can create and raise the level of trust, the better it is for them to come and contact you, because now they feel that they know you. And then bring in the affiliations, bring in things that help you bolster your credibility and your trustworthiness. For instance, he is a member of all these amazing medical organizations and societies in Malaysia. And we even include the link. Okay, so links are very important because sometimes you can say that you belong to Malaysian Medical Association, but are you really a member of the MMA? So we link. Whenever possible, we will link. And especially for the first link, the Obstetrics and Gynecology Society of Malaysia, we link and we try to find his face where he's listed there as a member. So we try to make it as easy as possible for the people to verify that he is who he says he is. And of course, on the side here, you will see that he's a member of the Academy of Medicine of Malaysia and the Penang Medical College. So these are some of the things that, again, if you have some accolades, some recognition, you're a member of certain associations that are prestigious, reputable, make sure you bring all this up in your website. This increases the trust level. This increases the fact that, hey, you're a real person. You're not, trying to scam me. And we love collecting feedback from our clients, but this one was a unsolicited one. He just wrote in to me one day, and he says that he got all these interesting responses after the content we did for his website and more. So these are some of the things that we really enjoy, knowing that our work has actually done and helped them get visible. So in a way, this is marketing. This is really marketing. The website has helped him. In the past, if you Google him, Dr. Somas, way before he had a website, he couldn't find himself. And now, if you just Google Dr. Somas, his website pops up. So this is what we mean by visibility and credibility. So you are visible online, but you also must be credible when they come and look for you. And recently, Dr. Somas is so cute. Recently, I think he contacted me and said, hey, I want to start an Instagram, I want to post up stuff about my patients. And I said, great, we will teach you how you can set it up. So now he's happily posting pictures of the patients and the babies and everyone who comes in through his clinic. So in a way, this is also a continuation of marketing. And he says he wants to try Instagram because it's so much easier for him to manage. It's just a picture and some captions. So I'm so glad for him that he's actually taking this one step forward to promote himself on a platform called Instagram. So what should be on your website? If you want to be using it for marketing, you want an authentic story of who you are and your business, who you serve, and why. So this has to be authentic. Why is it authentic? It's because you cannot make any of this up. You should not make any of this up. If you cannot salsa, please don't say you can salsa, because sooner or later, you'll be found out. So these days, it's so easy to verify and check things online, right? So be authentic. If you like cats, say you like cats. If you like dogs, say you like dogs. I mean, work around what you are or who you are as a human being, or what you like, your hobbies, your passions. And that is the story that you think, oh, isn't that kind of boring? I mean, everybody likes dancing or Latin dance. Not everybody, right? So we always assume that what we think is boring, other people think is boring. Actually, that's not true. So authenticity works really well, especially if you want to really, really market yourself online. Second, resources to demonstrate expertise and ability to solve customers' problems. So it means that what resources did I show you just now? The case studies, the people. If you can get testimonials, that's even better. Affiliations, emblems, logos that prove that you are who you say you are. So all these things will help further strengthen your credibility, because without credibility, no one is going to contact you. Without credibility, no one's going to trust you. And of course, if you have testimonials and case studies, it means that people have tried your service, they like it, and you've written about it, and that becomes a way for them to feel it's less risky for them to contact you. And finally, this is the major thing, is a way to collect names and emails of visitors so that you can communicate with them later. You may not have an idea what you want to do right now, but just keep it. It'll come in use much later. So this is what I want all of you to do. If you're in business, review your website, okay? Take a look at it. And I only want you to look at two things, because the website, maybe you're not you're not such a tech savvy person, but I just want to look at the visual, which is the front end. Think of your website or review website after this. Which part of the website content can you improve based on what I told you? Okay, do you have an authentic story? Do you call out who you want to serve and why? And second, what images can you add to further create credibility? So don't shy away from putting your face on your website. You, your team members, your colleagues, your staff, people that you help, if you get your permission, images. Images is best if it's your images, not stock photography, because people can differentiate, okay? Real photos are different. If right now you feel that your photos are not such a high quality, hire a photographer, take photos, and later replace them on your website. So these are some of the things that, look at two things, your website content and the images on your website. So really take this seriously, because this can actually help you market better, market smarter. Second one is use Google's resources to help you get more visible. Now, I'm not too sure whether any of you know this, but there's this thing called Google My Business. If you Google yourself or your business, on the right-hand side, something will pop up. And that is Google My Business. So for Google My Business, it's important for you to claim it first and to use it for marketing. And this is ours, as you can see. So why use it? It's because number one, it's free, and we all love free things. But it's free and it's useful because it helps your business show up on Google. And Google wants to serve up the best information, the most accurate information to the people who are searching for you. So if you have a website, it's great, but you must also remember that you can also utilize Google My Business to help your website rank better, right? So it's free, it helps your business show up on Google, and it helps you track how customers interact with your business. So they will send you, once you claim and verify that you are the owner of this specific business and you claim it for yourself, they will send you email telling you how your Google My Business page has worked for you. So sometimes it's a weekly, I think it's a weekly email that comes in. And of course, it complements your website. So sometimes people will be searching for your business and they just want a quick way to access your phone number. So Google My Business quickly serves up this information in a flash. So people can call for directions or visit your website and basically get to you quickly and directly, especially if, just say, they're not too sure whether you're open on a specific day. So they can quickly call you and verify that. So this is how it looks like when they send you an email. So they'll send an email and then they say, okay, how many people viewed your website and what's percentage of increase from the month before, and then how many people visited the website. And as you can see at the bottom, there's create a post. Means it works in a way similar to Facebook, where you need to update. So it's not just like claim the page and let it sit there and nothing happens. So claim it, but you also need to work at updating it because they want to know that you're alive, right, as a business. So for food businesses, like coming back to Kenneth's question, food businesses, claim this and use this to update your daily specials or daily menus or things that you want to share with your prospects and customers. And of course, there's also at the bottom what customers are saying about you. They can rate and review you on Google My Business. So this is where Google also wants people to go in and rate a certain business, whether it's a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, all the way up to 5 stars. Okay. So how do you use Google My Business? First, you claim and verify your page, update at least once or twice a week, and of course, track your stats, which are sent to you via email. So if you want to do it not on the desktop all the time, just download the GMB app and you can easily update on the go, especially interesting stuff. You can update as and when you wish to update. And then, of course, take action. Claim your GMB page today. Go to this link. So for those of you who are signed up using the Eventbrite, Malcolm will be sending you the slide deck, so you can just click on this link and it'll take you direct, and you can claim your page. And besides claiming your page and populating it with your phone number and all the necessary details, remember to find 3 customers to review your business. And if you need to, open up the GMB on your customer's phone and say, can you please review my business? Or especially if you're doing a retail, they walk in after they buy your product or they've used your product, ask them to rate and review you, because these are really helpful. And reviews are definitely a way to push people to see more of you online and offline. And the third one is coming back to the question of collaboration. Collaborate with other businesses for greater visibility and create content or promos together. So when I say other businesses, it could be your clients, it could be your partners, it could be your friends. So this is a fast way to also get a lot of visibility, credibility, as well as market yourself and market other people. So what can you collaborate on? So you could write articles and feature them on each other's websites. You could create FB live sessions together talking about topics that intrigue you, like what I'm doing here with Sarikei Innovation Centre. You can bundle and promote each other's products online, offline. So let me give you an example. I give you my own example. Not too long ago, on the 3rd of May, I pitched a client of mine, her name is Gina Kwe, to come on FB Live with me. And I wanted to talk to her because she has a business open during this MCO, because she's a pharmacist and she has a pharmacy open throughout. So I wanted to talk to her about business, about marketing, and about being a mom who's an entrepreneur. So we did this collaboration together and we promoted it on each of our own sites as well as Facebook pages. And this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes you don't have to go very far. I mean, first of all, if you like your clients, please talk to them, promote each other's stuff, and help each other get more visibility. So this is one of the ways that I used. Another one is I got on someone else's Facebook Live. So this is Marissa, the person here. This is Marissa. I've known her for a long time. And we have the same values. We love talking about marketing. We love talking about business and entrepreneurship. And she invited me to be on this Facebook Live session of hers on the 4th of May, which was recently. And when she called me, I said, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, it's fun. I mean, I like doing stuff that allows me to talk about my favorite things. So we got on this call also with a fellow entrepreneur, Carol Wong. And then we had such a great time. We were like, some of my friends would say, oh, these girls are really crazy. And I say, yeah, because we actually had fun. You know, it's different. It's different. The energy is different when you're having fun on a call, and energy is different when it's a really professional kind of thing. So we decided to go the casual, informal, and really had fun. We did a live consulting for 2 businesses when we got on the Facebook Live call on the 4th of May. The other thing we did was a bundle promo. So we bundled and promoted our books together. So the 2 books on the left and right are Marissa's books. The one in the middle is my book. So we decided that, hey, why don't we also do a book promo, a bundle? So we did this and we sold books this way. Okay, so it's between us and between her company, Spark Group Asia. And of course, just now remember we talked about the Karen bag. So the Karen bag is actually a collaboration too. So Karen bag is a collaboration between the PWP and Winka Fashion brand. So finally, how do you take action on this, right? Decide which customers are a good fit for you. Of course, again, you must talk to them and see whether they're open to the idea. For Gina, the one that I did the Facebook Live with, she was very open to the idea. Some people are not open to certain ideas because they could be shy, or speaking live is not something that they like to do. So you really have to decide which customers are a good fit for what you want to propose or pitch to them, and then email and pitch them the idea. Sometimes it could be like a quick idea, and then you say, hey, let's do this. And if they're agreeable, go ahead, do it. Then you can start planning your content creation, which is in this case, video, or product promos. What promotions or what products are you going to put together to make that bundle that you want to sell to your customers, as well as they want to sell to their customers. So I'm coming to the end already. So these are 3 strategies that help you market smarter. Update your website, make it market, make it help you with your marketing. Claim your Google My Business page, because reviews are important. Reviews allow people to see that you are a reputable, trustworthy provider or seller, and they would be more willing to try you out if you have good ratings and you have good testimonials. And then, of course, partner up for sales or partner up to create content. And these days, it's so much easier to create content because we have videos. And now I want to share with you, okay, these are 3 of my favorite books on sales and marketing. And these are the links. If you get my slide deck, you just click the link and go and get the book immediately, because it's a free download. Okay, so these are my favorite books on sales and marketing. The first one is by Jeffrey Gitomer. It's called The Little Red Book of Sales Answers. Very, very fun book to read. It's a book that is really, it cuts to the core. So there's not a lot of BS. It's really a book that talks about in the trenches kind of marketing. The second one is by Jay Abraham, my all-time favorite author, Getting Everything You Can Out of All You've Got. This book will change the way you think about marketing, because we always think that marketing is pretty linear, right? No. If you read this book, I bet you will have a ton of ideas that you have never thought of before. So this book is, you must read this book. And of course, the third one, The Ultimate Marketing Plan by Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy is a copywriter, but Dan Kennedy is such an amazing marketer. You must check out his videos. He's a bit of a grumpy old guy, but he makes sense. So this Ultimate Marketing Plan actually helps a lot of people get clear on their marketing, because he asks a lot of questions that you can start thinking and answering, so that you can make your marketing sharper, better, and more refined. So these 3 resources. And wait, there's more, right? So you can also get 2 free chapters from my book to uncover the 3 fundamental questions to get better marketing results. So you can go to my website, webwisdombook.com, and download the 2 free chapters. And finally, if you want to contact me, here are my contact details. You can find me on Facebook or LinkedIn. You can email me, and yeah, we can continue this conversation even after this session. So my question to you is, what's one thing you learned from today's session that you will implement in your business? So I'm very interested to hear your responses to this. What's one thing? Okay, so I talk about so many things. I hope that those many things would inspire you to actually relook at your marketing. But just type in, what's one thing you learned from today's session that you will implement? Because if you type it in, it makes it more real for you. Because a lot of people, like, the takeaway is like, yes, I want to do this. But when they are so busy with their work, their life, they kind of forget. So what's one thing? Just type it in, one thing.
Hello, everyone.
Nobody dares to type what's one thing. I only give you 3 things to implement, right? 1 is update your website. 2 is claim your Google My Business page. And 3 is partner up or collaborate with someone. Tell the story in wording. So I suppose you're saying that you're going to tell a more authentic story. Yes, that's great. That's from Nanas Onglai. Interesting name.
Actually, just to add on about the Google My Business part, because personally, I'm wearing multiple hats. So I'm one of the Google Business Group chapter lead in Sarawak as well. So just to let some of you know that so Google My Business, if you do face some of the challenges that, because I think now the postcard, because when you want to do verification, there's a few options that you can do it. One is the postcard that Google will send to you. But I think recently, because of the MCO and everything, even in Singapore, the circuit breaker and everything. So I think a lot of the Google My Business verification postcard will be delayed. Hence, you may actually not once you receive the postcard, you may actually the verification code may expire. So I think you can always find multiple options besides the postcard. When you verify, they will ask you a question on what ways you want to receive the verification code. So you can actually choose either mobile phone, like you receive SMS on the code, or you may get verification through emails if the option is available. So please find out other options as well to verify your business. And as what Krista mentioned earlier on, get 3 friends or 3 customers to review your page. Please don't just ask them to rate like by star rating. Encourage them to write more things about their experience with your services or your products. So by writing, I think it's much it will help you a lot more, because of people are able to find your services and products on Google search actually.
Yeah. So if you have a problem, look for Malcolm for Google My Business, right? So Google products. Okay, so let's see what else they say. Sun Long says telling stories and always collaboration is important. Yes, definitely. Zukari says marketing is a collaborative endeavor. Yes, totally. I so agree. You know, we can't market alone. We have to market with other people, other businesses, and especially in our community right now, where a lot of businesses are suffering. I think there's a greater need for us to team up with other people to do things with each other, right?
Yeah.
Maybe in the past it's not so not so pertinent. Now is because with the, people say recession, hotels are closing, things are not going well. There's all the more reason we should stand stronger together.
So now is the time that I think it's for the community to work together. Collaboration is always the key word. But of course, when we talk about collaboration, we need to look into both ways. As I think what Krista shared earlier on, the values is very important. So it's not just about if I need help from Krista, I'm not seeing just that what value she can give, but in the other way around, I also need to know what value I can give to Krista as well. So that's how you make a collaboration in a much greater way as well. And I think there's a lot of ways to do a lot of things. So I think we have Zukari actually mentioned about first and foremost, your product and service must be good. Otherwise, you cannot do marketing, which is true.
Yeah, we definitely have to, because like I said, if you have a bad product, I think bad news travel faster than good news. people were like, don't buy that product, it's bad. So you have to, that is why you really have to make sure your product is good before you go and do marketing. Okay, so any questions there? Do we have any questions? I think.
Do you have any more things to share, Krista?
I have one final slide. Let me share that one final slide, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, this is by Jeffrey Gitomer. So he says, if you walk in with information about you, they consider you a salesman. If you walk in with ideas and answers, they consider you a resource. So which one are you? Okay, which one are you to your customers? So Jeffrey Gitomer is the person, one of the books, the first book, the red one, that's his book. So I picked this up from his book and I thought that this was really insightful. It really, eventually, this is about marketing, right? Eventually, this is marketing. Are you a resource for them, or are you just a salesman? If right now you feel that you're a little bit more on the sales side, I suggest you move towards being a resource. When you're a resource and people trust you and people like you, they will buy from you, even if your pricing is a little higher than most people. Because you justify, say, oh, I'll buy this because, I like the person. Or like for me, I like the lady, the one I was talking about, her food is so good that I say, okay, it's like, a little bit more expensive, but I like it, and she saves me from cooking lunch anyway. So that's where we kind of justify it later. But if you can be a resource to your customers, and I think that will be probably my advice to you. If there's only one thing you took away from today, just be the resource. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is amazing. This is really, really true. I think all the while in the startup ecosystem or the entrepreneurs ecosystem as well, I think it's all about solving problem, right? So if you are able to solve whether it's your customer's problem or whether it's your vendor's problem or if it's your community's problem, end of the day, people will just support you in any ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll always strive to be the resource. So there are no questions. Wow. We have such a big crowd that understood everything. No questions for me. Wow.
So I think just one. Is it wise? Let me pull this up, right, so people can read as well. So is it wise to start marketing before the product is ready?
Yes. Ensuring, I'm assuming that your product is good, right? But it's in the process of being made, in the process of being produced, but you know your product is good. You've done all your prototyping and all, you know that it is going to come up, but it's not yet there. I would say yes, because you can't market when the product is already out there. You have to market way, way before, right? Because you want to create anticipation. You want to create excitement. That's why people have launch parties, right? Like way before the launch party, way before the opening of the shop, they already like tease you a little bit, right? On social media, they say, "Hey, we're coming soon. We're gonna do this." So you get so excited. So anticipation is already. I always say anticipation is actually the most important thing, because when people are excited, they want to be there, or they want to be there to support you or to buy a product. So when your product is out, they'll be already customers. So when your product's not ready, keep telling people about it. Keep leaving hints. If you don't want to show the actual product, just leave hints. Say that this is coming soon. Pick a date as your launch date, even if you're just launching it online. Pick a date. Make sure people are all excited. And best of all, have a launch team. I always tell people, have a launch team. Launch team meaning have a bunch of your best friends, your best supporters, your best customers. Tell them, can you use my product first? If you have some samples, use or make use of my product first. And then tell other people about it. How do they tell other people about it? They can make a video about it, right? But of course, don't make a video and release it on the day before the product is out. Just make a video, send a video to you. Or if they are YouTubers, they can do that. They can write. If they are bloggers, they can write about your product. So what happens is that you have all this information. So the day that, just say 1 week before your product comes out, get your launch support team to put all this information online. So by the time your product is online, it can be Google. People can find the information. Otherwise, when people Google, I can't find anything about this person, this product. So get the launch party and the launch, I would say, the launch squad happening way, way before. Get them to get other people excited. And then when your actual product is in the market, then you will see, wow, so many people are so excited. So many reviews on Google My Business, right? Because you already had your launch squad helping you with the launch. Yeah. Hope it answers your question, Simon.
So yeah, Simon. Simon is actually a friend of ours, actually.
Okay.
Today we are very excited and very glad that we have so many people tuning in from different parts of the world. Simon is, I'm not sure whether is he based in KL now or he's based in Sabah. But yeah, so we have even friends tuning in from Hong Kong, from Cambodia, from West Malaysia as well. So I think it's amazing that we are doing this online. If we are doing an offline event like every month in Sarikei, so we can only reach out to the locals, to the local community. But now I think with the MCO, we are able to bring it online, so we can share with more people. So anyway, yeah, thank you very much, Krista, for your amazing sharing today. I think today we had two amazing speakers. We have Julia earlier on branding, and now we have Krista on marketing. So I think whoever is still tuning to this live stream, really hope you guys have some great takeaways from the both speakers. And also, we will basically, if you see in the screen, for those who have not registered through Eventbrite on this particular event, please do so with this short link, all right, before 4:45. Because we were going to share the presentation deck or the slides from the presenters through the wrap-up email this evening. So please do get yourself registered through that link, all right? So you will not miss out any of those amazing books that recommended by Krista, and also some of the links to some of the resources as well. Okay, so yes, Krista, do you have any other tips or any advice for everyone before we wrap up the session for today?
I think if they can work on each one of the three things that I put in today, I think that will be already enough, because we all need to start with small steps, because people think marketing is such a huge area that they cannot really get a handle on. But if you break it down into small steps like that, first, review your website, see what needs to be improved, or work with your web designer and improve it. Okay, do something about it. Make sure it is full of useful, resourceful content for your customers and prospects. That's one. Google My Business definitely helps you with ranking, helps you with people rating and finding you online. And partner up, because partnering up is the way to move forward. I think these are the three things that if you can do all these three, that will be fantastic, because I think that will help you see that things will slowly change if you actually focus on things like that. I actually see that someone here, Amni talked about also watch and study Shark Tank TV. Yes, I love Shark Tank. I think Shark Tank is such a good way also for people to sharpen their marketing and business skills. And there's another show that I want to recommend.
Is it Dragon's Lair or Lion's Den?
No, that one is Dragon's Den, I think. Dragon's Den.
Dragon's Den, yeah.
There's another one called The Prophet.
Okay.
Yeah, The Prophet.
Maybe you can add it onto your link in the deck.
Yeah, that's a very good show, The Prophet, because he goes in and he does a business transformation for the individual businesses. Yeah. Okay, that's all. That's all from me. Too much talking.
All right. Thank you so much, Krista. I will basically put you to backstage, and while I do the wrap up. So once again, thank you all. Thank you, Krista. So everyone, we have Krista all the way from Penang joining us, and yes, today that's all from us from SMA Sarikei Innovation Centre, and yes, for those who don't know, SMA Sarikei Innovation Centre, we are actually it's actually a state government initiative that basically they have, SMA actually has building in the pipeline. They are going to have more than 10 micro hubs within the whole of Sarawak. So Sarikei Innovation Centre is one of the first innovation hubs in Sarawak. So what we do normally is that we'll bring content on every month to Sarikei to basically attract and to help to expose the local community within the district of Sarikei, Bintango, or even Jula, Pakan, Meradong, and also sometimes Cebu as well. So people can get together in Sarikei to get our programs and everything. But because of MCO, we're not able to do so. So now we bring it online. So yes, today we had the very two amazing speakers that shared branding and marketing for all the entrepreneurs and startups, or even students. All right, it's good to know about how branding works and to know how marketing works as well. So anyway, don't if you have not registered, like I said, you have not registered on Eventbrite, please get register yourself on this short link on screen, and you will get the presentation deck by our two speakers during the wrap-up email that will be sent out by us this evening. Okay, so once again, we thank everyone for tuning in and being patient with us. And earlier on, we had a little bit of hiccups on the technical part as well. But we really appreciate everyone's time staying tuned. So watch out your email from us. We will constantly share new updates or webinars and sharing sessions on live stream on this Facebook page. So if you have not liked SMA Sarikei Innovation Centre's Facebook page, please do so now. Click like, follow us. And also, if you do like this webinar, please click love or like or even happy face and everything on this particular post. Yeah. So yes, thank you everyone. My name is Malcolm, and we will see you very soon. So thank you everyone. Have a good week ahead.